Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge, 5:50 a.m. Central Daylight Time, November 13, 2018. We are looking at Rich and Rare Reserve. I'm sorry, correction. Rich and Rare from 1962. Not this bottle, but the brand. Sazerac Company product these days. And there's about to be a lot more Sazerac Company products these days because they made an agreement to buy a lot of brands from Diageo for half $500 million. For instance, Myers' rum, Seagram's VO, and a whole bunch of stuff. They listed it. And I think there's probably more. So that's a big event in the world of liquor and whiskey. Here is Black Velvet Reserve, age 8 years, introduced in 1991. So we got a 1962 80 proof product versus a 1991 8-year age 80 proof product. This one is with natural flavors. This one over here, Black Velvet, is without. At least they don't say it on the label. It still might have it. You know, the Canadian whiskey does not have to disclose if they have natural flavors, not up to a certain percentage. So they could just put it in there. Oh, well, we'll see about that. All right, so I bought this at Walmart. You've heard of Walmart. The bottle was $7.49, 750 milliliter, both bottles 750, standard fifth, the old terminology of fifth. $7.49. The Black Velvet Reserve, they don't have it at Walmart around here. I paid $10.99 at Dorgnax, $10.99 at Dorgnax, about $4 less than the normal price. Maybe $5 less, depending where you go. Okay. The regular Black Velvet, the regular, is $9.99 at every store. $9.99. In fact, if you look at the, for the Black Velvet first, if you look at the Constellation Brands sell sheet description page about Black Velvet, it says suggested price $9.99. So they're basically telling the stores, the distributor, tell the stores they should sell it at $9.99, $9.99, and it'll move. It go higher and it won't move. It'll set on the shelf. I called. Yikes. We gotta fix this. I called Sazerac. I'm not pouring beer. What am I doing? I called Sazerac last week. Glass is clean, so shouldn't matter. Doing a pour back. Had to do a direct abort. Didn't have time to go around the moon. All right. So come on, darling, put a pretty dress on. We're gonna go out tonight and we're gonna taste all morning long. Not really. I went to I called Sazerac. That number, it says we love to hear from our customers. Called them up asking about James Fox Canadian blended whiskey. Man says, oh yeah, that's mostly up north. You're in Louisiana, it's mostly up north, but I'll check anyway. Oh, he said, oh yeah, it's there. He said, I see they just made a bunch of double orders. All the distributors were making double orders because of Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all that coming up. And he's saying, you know, you got to do that. Get ready for the holidays. And I said, and I'm saying, yeah, that's true. But anyway, he was saying, okay, he couldn't tell me the bottle sizes or the plastic or glass. So I don't have that on this, obviously looking at a computer, but he said, Okay. There's a place called Broadway Liquors, Broadway Food Store that has it. And I know that's in the wall. I said I know exactly where that is. That's on the corner of Broadway Street and Claiborne Avenue, US Highway 90. Yep, he said that's right. Then he said they have it at Texmart. I said Texmart. Yeah, on Chef Mentor Way, he said. I said, oh, Chef Mentor Highway, US 90 also. And he said they have it at Savannah Discount in Marrero, and that's south of US 90 Business Route. So I guess it's the US 90 connection. But I found it. I found the James Fox. So I'm going to talk about that later in months ahead. Months ahead. And the incredible thing about that, the James Fox, was I got a 1 liter glass bottle for $8.99, which was a shock to say the least. $8.99 plus tax. And I got 2 bottles of Hunter Rye. It's listed as Hunter Rye, not Canadian Hunter Rye, Hunter Rye. But I mean, it is Canadian Hunter Rye. But they had little sample bottles, you know, little plastic sample bottles. And I said, how much are those? Because he didn't have a price on it. Oh, you buy one, it's $2.99. And if you get 2 bottles, it's $5. I said, well, give me 2. I'd rather have glass, but I don't recall where. I think somewhere in Louisiana, I saw a 750 milliliter bottle of Hunter Rye, Canadian Hunter Rye, but Hunter Rye. And I wasn't desperate to find it anyway. I just happened to see the 2 sample bottles. I said, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to try it. And I did buy it and try it. And I made a video, but the video was too long. It was like 15 minutes. And I was going on. And I was saying, after I said, well, that was a little awry because I had finished the 42 ounce bottle of Magnum and then 1 Keystone Ice. And then I said, okay. And then I'm going to hear the comments. Oh, Ron, oh yeah, you got wound up. I was at home wearing my night clothes. I have my night clothes on now. I'm going to go change. It's cold. It's going to be 48 degrees today in Louisiana. This is late December weather. It's unusually cold for this time of the year. Now in North Louisiana, Shreveport, yeah, that's a whole different climate. They got like humid continental. So their climate is similar to Kansas City, Dallas, just terribly cold in the winter, terribly cold with blizzards. And then their summer is that more dry heat, just hot, blazing hot. The prairie lands, let's say Shreveport is the prairie lands. So it actually is, because the Caddo Indians, that group, they're more the prairie and plains Indians. Buffalo were in, they had buffalo herds in Shreveport area in the early 1800s. Okay. All right. Gold, I poured too much, didn't I? Oh, well, we'll figure something. We'll figure something out. Got to be careful because I'm used to doing beer. I just dump the whole bottle in. And this is not beer, and this is not something to play with. Well, I'll be able to tell them apart. I assume I will, because let me turn on the playback so I can see comments if people care to write any. I assume I will, because with natural flavors as opposed to just 8 years in the barrel. Did I find that the 8 years made a big difference? Not so far. It hasn't really made much of an impact. I don't think the Canadian, can I remember that? I don't think the Rich and Rare Reserve 8 year is bad. No, it's good, and I would recommend buying it. It doesn't really stand out. So, good morning, Ron. I've never seen James Fox in Ohio. Yeah, F-O-X-E. They have an E up. Looking forward to a Hunter Rye review. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it. But I got to reshoot it, Jeff. I deleted the first one. The first one, like I said, was a little too enthusiastic or something. We'll call it like that. It really wasn't bad, though. I mean, it wasn't a bad review. But It was too long. That was really the reason. I didn't care about having drunk the 42-ounce Magnum and all of that. That really wasn't. I don't get embarrassed about that. I was at home minding my business. I just didn't like the length. Okay, so and I'm gonna say the same things about it. I think I will, because I was talking about mint candy. Mint. It was really something. Already, they're breathing. So you got to let them breathe. It makes a big difference. That old oxygen in the air. The initial assessment is that this is the rich and rare. You know, it's so rare you can get it at Walmart. And this is the Black Velvet Reserve, because this one doesn't seem to have that natural flavors added. It smells like wood and some rye and some grain of various sorts. It's probably 80% grain whiskey, grain neutral spirits, corn, grits, distilled out to clear, odorless, tasteless bulk product. Then the flavor is going to come from the rye high wine, the barley high wine, the wheat high wine. They blend it, then they barrel age it, though. That's what they claim makes it better. They blend it together, then they put it in the barrel. They say it will marry together better. All the flavors will merge together better. Other companies would disagree and say, no, you want to blend it after you age all the different ones in separate containers. Anyway, if they're adding wine to it, that wine is barrel aged. Read the Canadian government regulations. It's pretty clear. It is natural flavors, though. It's not artificial. It is actual natural flavors. Brandy, rum, even bourbon and wine are added. Not all of them. Could be one or two of them. Could be all different types of wine. Doesn't even say what kind of wine. Doesn't say what kind of wine it has to be. Could be any kind of wine, as long as it follows the guidelines. So that's why you're going to get a lot of exotic flavorings with Canadian flavors with Canadian whiskey. A bourbon drinker, I was reading comments on Alcohol Eggs. I believe it was Alcohol Eggs. He was saying, "Oh, that doesn't sit well with me. I'm a bourbon guy. I don't go for this flavor and stuff." Understandable. Bourbon cannot have that. Well, different category, different way of doing it. So this one has that candy sweetness thing. Candy corn. Whatever it's coming from. Smells good, though. I mean, you're getting grain, alcohol, grain, all of that now. There's no age statement, though. That's why I was kind of looking around at the rich and rare. Some of the Canadian whiskeys will say age 3 years, but this doesn't say anything. Maybe it's 4 years. I really don't know. It is the 19th best-selling whiskey, Canadian whiskey in America as of 2018, 2017. Okay, taste time. Got to give them credit with rich and rare, because you get a really strong rye hit right off the bat. It doesn't have to develop. It doesn't have to build. It's just like, bam, here's the rye, which you say, yeah, Sazerac, yeah, Buffalo Trace, makes sense. Do they add the flavorings at Buffalo Trace? This I do not know. Certainly they've got all those products on hand, the brandy, the rum, the bourbon. So I don't know how difficult it would be. I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult at all. But it could be a legal problem with doing that. It says bottled by Sazerac in Frankfort, Kentucky. Okay, Buffalo Trace, fine. See, they don't really take you into that part of the plant. I would like to see that, like the concoction area. You know what I mean? Like they take you where they're aging. they're doing Ancient Age, and they're doing, of course, Buffalo Trace, and all of their really high, even more high-end stuff. And that's what they want you to see, you know, there. But I want to go into the guts of the place where they take you around a lot of stuff. You better be prepared for 3 hours, because it's not some little in and out tour, and it doesn't cost any money either. And then you're going to really get done out. You're going to get done out because after the tour, they have a major tasting, and they don't hold back. They just tell you, look, you driving, that's your responsibility. By going on this tour, something like you agreed to the responsibility or whatever. So they're saying, try this, try that, try this. Oh, you want to try some Wheatley vodka? You want some of this? You want some of this bourbon-filled candy? You want this bourbon cream? And they just keep throwing it at you, and you better watch it over there. And you could go on 2 tours in one day. You could go to Bardstown and go to Barton 1792, and another hour and a half get over there. Or I don't know, it's not that long of a ride to Buffalo Trace. And both places are, well, maybe Barton is a little more conservative. I think you get 2 drinks. It's a smaller facility. It's pretty big though. But then Buffalo Trace, they go all out. I mean, they're just throwing liquor at you. And I can't wait till the Sazerac Experience opens in Louisiana next year, because they're going to have the same thing. Well, it's not a production facility. That's just a showcase facility. You know, the world of Sazerac. So where they're adding the ingredients, I don't know. The law is, you can't really tell. I couldn't really tell by reading the law if it is forbidden to add the components, the distilled components, after it comes across the border, or does that all have to be done in Canada? We know it is the case with Black Velvet because it's all aged after, you know, it's aged after it's married. All this stuff is merged, you know, blended together. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, so there we go. Rich and Rare, very nice product. You might say, ah, that's some cheap stuff. That's rot gut, you moron. Well, I'm not a moron, and I don't think it's rot gut, and it might be inexpensive, but I think they do a good job with it. And I don't think it's the number 19 selling whiskey, Canadian imported whiskey, because people hate it. Does price play a big role in that? Yes, I'm sure it plays a huge role, but taste matters. They tried selling that cut rate beer around here. And this is a poor state. This is the second poorest state in the country. You'd think it would be a wildly popular. It is not. It is not popular, and lots of it has disappeared from here. Okay. Okay. Yes, you get rye, certainly, and the grains, just the grains. But there's a lot of wood here. I mean, it's, whoa. Might even give you the willies, like you might shudder a little bit. It's so much wood. May not like it, but that's got to be the Black Velvet Reserve, because it's got too much wood on it to be young. No. Oh, now the key question is what's better? Oh, yes. What's better? Let's see about that. It's got a little candy sweetness underneath. The top side of the taste, the top part is wood. The undertaste is the sweetness. And the top, I'm sorry, the top side is wood and rye, and the undertaste is a slight, candy-like sweetness. Very interesting. Well worth the $10.99, or even if you had to pay $14.99, I would go along with that. Okay. Over here. Oh, did I eat this morning? Yes, I had corned beef hash with 2 scrambled eggs, medium, 2 medium scrambled eggs poured on the top. in a pan of extra virgin olive oil. Not a lot, use it just a thin sheen of the olive oil, bellow. And then the diced onions, and then the sliced Colby. It's like a mix. What was that? Colby and cheddar mix, whatever that was. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. It tasted like cheese. And then not cheese product, sorry, actual cheese, with some black pepper and Louisiana Gold hot sauce. And I drank 3 cups of coffee. And what coffee? Cafe Du Monde coffee and chicory. Cafe Du Monde coffee and chicory. CDM. CDM or Cafe Du Monde is a very popular coffee in Louisiana. It's pretty dang dark. It's not black as night, Death Star, Darth Vader outfit dark like RT coffee. That's next when I'm finished with this package. But the RT is blackest coffee I've ever seen. But it's bizarre because it doesn't taste burnt, but it's close to burnt as you can get without crossing that line. Incredible. And rich. And it's got the chicory. Oh, baby. Okay. The CDM is a lot more consumer friendly. And you get a lot of sales for that. The RT is for the real hardcore guys, and people will go in there and buy it. It's kind of a known thing around here. Another thing you'll notice about the Rich and Rare is that as you drink on it and it breathes, those natural flavorings dissipate. They tend to mix in to the product, and then it becomes like a generalized whiskey flavor. I don't know why that is. I guess you just can't taste it. I don't know what other word to use. It dissipates. It's an undertaste, certainly, but it's not. It's no longer the overtaste. It's like there it comes in, and then it slowly settles, and it's like it blends into the other flavors. So I can see that Rich and Rare has that appeal for people because of that real subtle advancement that it makes as you drink on it. So very fascinating product. Now, which one's better? I cannot say because it's a personal preference issue. It's hard. I mean, the quality is even on both. It's a tie on quality. Constellation Brands knows what they're doing. These are not amateurs. They've been around a long time. Go buy some Ballast Point beer. You'll see what I mean. They're barrel-aged, Ballast Point. It's called got the skeleton on it. There's a regular one and a barrel age. You know, I mean, they're obviously using one of they're using High West. What did they say on Ballast Point's website? We teamed up with our partners at High West. Well, yeah, that's their partners since they owned by the same company. It's funny how they say that. Our partners, yeah. In other words, I teamed up with myself to make Victory. That's what it's called, Victory at Sea barrel aged. Okay. Going live, drinking whiskey early, brother Ron. What happened to the beer reviews? Oh, nothing happened to the beer reviews, Ricky Lejeune. I just posted one. I just posted a beer review less than an hour ago. Well, it might have been an hour ago. And that was Angkor Premium Extra Stout from Cambodia. Angkor. Beer reviews are going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. Okay, so tie, but I still think this is the Black Velvet Reserve and this is the Rich and Rare. I would highly recommend both. Even though they're cheap, I'm sorry, they taste good to me. That's the way I feel about it. Yeah, if you go to a party and you bring a fresh bottle of whiskey, maybe don't show up with rich and rare, because everybody's going to say, look how cheap you are. Couldn't even buy a decent bottle. You're buying a $7.49. Because people around here, they know what it is. I think most people that are drinkers know. So spend a little bit more and buy the rich and rare reserve with that fancy bottle with the embossed and the beautiful grain up the side and that fancy Crown Royal mimic cap. Buy that if you want to save money but still be acceptable. Bring that. Then people will be like, whoa, what's this? You know, that might make a better impression. Not to say you want to show off and say, look at me. No, you just want to be at least do it nice, okay? Like if you're going to bring gin, don't bring Crystal Palace. You can bring Tanqueray, something like that. I mean, it's up to you if you want to bring Crystal Palace, but you're going to get some funny looks. They'll drink it, of course. That stuff's kind of, well, it's popular here. It wasn't terrible, though. When I drank it, I said, can kind of see the appeal. Oh, well, here we go. This has got to be the Black Velvet Reserve. It is BV, Black Velvet. Oh, well, so I called it right off the bat. In the first 10 seconds, I had it. But I wanted to make sure, and I wanted to really explore these. You may not have enjoyed that, but I like exploring these products. It's like the taste challenges to me are like little adventures 4 times a week. Jeff Knapp says the BP tap room in San Diego, is a fun experience. Lots of varieties you typically can't find in stores. Yeah, I bet that is great. And I went to San Diego once, and I really liked it. And I went to see the San Diego Padres, and didn't get to spend a lot of time driving around. It was in and out. Went to the hotel, parked, got my stuff together, rested a little bit, off to the game. I drove in my own car, and then I came back to the hotel, went to sleep. Went to Mass the next day in San Diego. And then I was gone. I was off to LA to see the Dodgers in that extreme 101-degree heat. They had a heat wave. That was kind of rough. All right. Well, anyway, nobody wants to hear travel tales, Ronald's travel tales, Jay's travel tales. I can understand that. All right. So it's a tie in quality. No one wins. No one loses. Everyone's okay. No hurt feelings. But they're obviously not similar in flavor. I mean, they taste like whiskey. So, yeah, they're similar in that sense. But they have very distinct flavors, one from the other. So you got that. In 2 days, the plan is to do Rich and Rare Reserve against Black Velvet Reserve. Now, that could be a real challenge. That one's got me a little worried. I mean, worried in the context of the contest. I'm not worried in my life. If I get it wrong, well, too bad. I got it wrong. That's the part of the challenge. If you can't handle losing, why are you doing a challenge? So I saw that John Anile last night did Taylor Marsala versus Taylor Dry Sherry. I would recommend that. That was a good challenge. He did a blind taste challenge, but they were clearly not the same. And he could tell them apart in a snap. In a snap. All right, so we'll see what adventure awaits in 2 days with Rich and Rare Reserve, which was introduced around 2010 or 11. I can't quite pin down the year, but I know it was 10 or 11, versus Black Velvet Reserve, which I know for a fact was 1991 because the company says so. Thank you very much.